Hello and welcome to It's Earth Babies live Karma Yoga. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So thank you for joining us. This is a yin yoga class, so we will be holding poses for about 3 to 5 minutes. So before I get into my intro, you're more than welcome to grab your props needed, some pillows, as many as possible. That just helps to benefit your practice and make it more relaxing and passive instead of an active practice. You're more than welcome to play some meditation music in the background, dim the lights, light up your candles, and kind of set your scene for a little bit more of a lazy yin. Um, it's more about, I guess, self love in this sense where you are showing up for yourself. But this is Karma Yoga, so while you're getting your props ready, if you already have them ready, feel free to write in the comments a good deed that you intend to do um, for this week. And the reason why I would like you to write it in your comments is because then it kind of encourages you to stick to that intention, and maybe it can encourage someone else to do it as well. So today is my friend Flo's birthday, and I think part of a good deed or something nice you can do for someone in your community is maybe tell them why you love and care about them. So I can publicly do mine now. Flo, you've always been such a great friend and always been there when I needed you, and you've just treated everyone with so much love and respect. And I truly admire that about you. So I hope you're having a great day today. And yeah, so now that we have our props ready and you have written your good deed down or just consciously thought about it, let's get ready for our first pose. My name is Kirsten and I'm very happy to be here with you today. So let's get on our mat. Go into all fours, but we're not here for too long. Grab a pillow and slide it in between your legs. So make your knees as wide as your mat, and then just slide that pillow in between. And obviously, if you would like, you can make your legs even wider. Stack the pillows to a point where you feel comfortable, and then just grab another pillow, and it's almost like we're making a T with our pillows. Inhale, first sit quite firmly into your heels, or if you want, you can move any excess skin from your behind your legs. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling or the sky. Look up and smile, and then as you exhale, just fold forward over your pillow. You are more than welcome to face your chin out and up so you can open that throat chakra. Or if you would like a more passive kind of practice today, you can just place your ear on one side of the pillow, whichever one it intuitively falls on. I'm going to face you guys though. So while you're here, just take a second to check in with your body. Breathing into the pillows. So as you inhale, you'll feel your belly expand. And then as you exhale, you might soften deeper down into the pillows. Relaxing here, adding as many or little pillows as you would like. Closing your eyes and just checking in with your breath. So we will be here for a couple minutes. There will be some moments of silence. So feel free to think of an intention you would like to focus on today and enjoying your breath. You might want to spread your fingertips quite wide and imagine they're growing roots from underneath each fingertip, in pulling you in towards the mat and the ground. And then the heels of your hands as well, pushing firmly into the mat, just in a form of surrender. You might want to turn your ear to face your face to put your other ear on the other side if you're feeling any strain in your neck. Just do whatever feels right for you in this moment. And for those of you who would like to take the opportunity to deepen your stretch, you're more than welcome to bring your pillow slightly forward so that you've got some space or stability to place your elbows onto the pillows, and then put your hands at a prayer position, and then just lower your chest or your head in between the two pillows to create more space and open up your chest and activate your shoulders slightly. But again, it's dealer's choice, so whatever feels good for you. Bringing that same thought of grounding. So with each fingertip either on the mat or pushing into each other, you're now bringing your awareness to yourself, almost as if it's a gentle offering to say that I am here for me, I stand with me. There's only one person who has seen every bit of your life, and that is you. Give gratitude and grace to that. You might even reach your hands over and pat yourself on the back. If that feels nice. On your next inhale, you can release your hands if they were connected to put them back onto the mat, and then just slowly walk your hands back up so that you're seated back onto your heels again. We're going to go into a frog pose. If it feels intense at any moment, you should stop. So stay in your orange, don't go into red. And you can also try, if it feels intense, to do one side for half the time and then the other side for half the time. We will be in here for 5 minutes, so it can be quite intense. So keeping the pillows in the same place, okay? It's just this time, instead of reaching your hands over the pillows, you're going to put your forearms onto the pillow and then lift your hips slightly and then walk one leg. So starting with your right leg out so that your knees are open a little bit more, and make sure that your ankle and your knee is in line with each other. So if you can't make it as low, then it's okay. You just come up onto your wrists, and if your wrists are sensitive, you can go into fists. Or alternatively, you can also place another pillow underneath you as well, because why not have extra pillows so that you are higher up off the ground, and then you can go onto your forearms. So starting with the right side, flexing your toes, pulling that knee out towards the right side of the room. Then you can look toward your left side and also walk your knee out, and then push your hips back. And it's that pushing your hips back motion that adds more intensity to the stretch, but it's what gets us where we want to go. So using the pillows again to help you, and just leaning your hips back, you can have your hands either pushed into the mat, facing up to receive your intention, or holding them and dropping your shoulders away from your ears, closing your eyes and just breathing through the discomfort, because it is quite an intense stretch. Again, if you would like to half it, you're more than welcome to have maybe your left leg straight out like this, and then your other leg will be out at the 90-degree angle. And then I will tell you when we are halfway through, and you can switch it over to the other side. Mm-hmm. Quite an interesting stretch when you think of your legs sprawling out to opposite ends of the room, It's still keeping this like 90-degree angle. Almost like sometimes we spread ourselves too thin, but we're still trying to make that right angle. And I was even saying today in my chair yoga class how we are usually the hardest on ourselves than on other people. And sometimes it's okay to give grace. So even in this pose, you're more than welcome to give grace, even if it doesn't look right or feel right. It's the fact that you're out here trying and just doing your best, which is more than enough. If you were doing half frog on one side, now would be a good time to switch over to the other side. Flexing your toes, bringing awareness to your shoulders, dropping them down and back, activating your glutes, and maybe pushing your hips back slightly more, even bringing in a rocking motion if that feels good. We're almost there. Relaxing your jaw and your face. Even bringing some stretches into it with some motion or movement with your mouth, making O's of all sizes. I show you so that you know it doesn't, even if it feels funny, you're not the one doing it online for everyone to see. um, and then slowly, in your own time, because this is quite intense, slowly place one hand, if you're on your forearms, pushing it firmly into the mat and the pillows, and then walking your toes back in line to come to a tabletop. You can remove any excess pillows that you have, um, keeping the pillow still at a T, and then maybe removing the one pillow that's in between your legs. And if you want to practice your balance today, then I suggest you take a few pillows and you place it on the right side of the back side of your mat. So the right back side of your mat. We're going to use it to put our legs on it. So even if you are a seasoned yogi and you have blocks, you're more than welcome to put some blocks underneath and then your pillow. And then keeping the one pillow here. So just underneath the pillow that's by your face, come into a tabletop position. So your shoulders or your hands shoulder distance apart, and then your knees hips distance apart. Your toes can be untucked here. Push firmly into the mat. You'll see your shoulders lifting up, and hug your elbows so that the inside of them are facing towards each other. Take an inhale, look in front of you, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Oh, your left arm. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. So yeah, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, thread your hand through to your left side. And then you can stay in this thread the needle in this pose if it feels comfortable. So I'm going to face you so you can see what it looks like with your top arm threading through and then your head on the pillow. So you can even move the pillow so that it's underneath your head and you're dropping your shoulder down towards the mat. This is the first variation. If you feel comfortable here and you'd like to intensify, you can lift that arm that is on the mat that's keeping you quite stable and bring it to go around your back into a bind and then push your shoulder open. And you can even use this arm that's at the bottom to push it open if you would like to focus on that kind of stretch. Or again, more passive approach would be to leave it. And then if you feel comfortable and you want to focus on your balance, you can take your back foot and lift it onto the pillow like that. And that will increase that side stretch as well, keeping your foot flexed on the ones that are on the pillow. And this is what it should look like, or at least maybe not what it should look like, but what it what it looks like trying to do it. And doing it this way with that leg up also helps you to tuck this top arm in between your thigh, your hip creases. So just stay at the level that you feel most comfortable in. Technically, if this was a normal yoga class, that leg would just be up like that. But this is an easier fix to it. Take one inhale, push your chest forward. And then as you exhale, release that top hand and bring it down to your mat. Push quite firmly into the ground here. And maybe bring that leg that was up, if you tried that variation, down to the mat. And then push firmly into your hand to unthread your needle. Sit back on your heels and shake your arms out. Take the pillow that was on the back of your mat and move it to the side as we're going to stretch our leg out over and onto the pillows. So if you can imagine like a fire hydrant pose that you think of dogs where they lift their leg. Because we did frog already, it might be too intense. So you are more than welcome to lift your leg up and place it onto your pillows into a little bit more of a fire hydrant pose. You'll feel the stretch a little bit higher up into your hips. If you would like to do a different kind of stretch, you can pull the pillows out just a little bit more, maybe like a ruler's length away, and then come back onto your hands, lift your right leg up, straighten it, and then place it onto the pillows, and then just lean slightly back. And you'll feel a nice inner thigh stretch. So wherever you can try both and then see which one you would like to try for today. And then with the pillow underneath you, you can, if it feels accessible, lower down onto your elbows and just close your eyes here, dropping your shoulders away from your ears, even allowing your head to hang if that feels nice. If you want more stability, you can tuck in your toes of the bent knee that's pushing firmly into the mat. And you might find that as you breathe, you can almost walk your foot further out. And just enjoying your breath here. I like to try in yin yoga. We always do the right side first and then the left so that there's no confusion. And then slowly lift up onto your hands if you were on your elbows. Lift that right leg up off the pillows and then just bring it underneath you. And sit back onto your heels. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. You're going to do a side stretch of your choice. So coming back onto your hands, and then putting your leg back up over here onto your pillows, you're more than welcome to lift up and stretch over onto your hand by placing your right hand onto your right shin, knee, or thigh, and then lifting your left up and over into a stretch like that. If that is a stretch that feels good for you, or you are more than welcome to lower down and walk over to the left side of the room, and you're doing a different kind of stretch on this side. So whatever you do on the side that we're doing now, when we switch over to the left, you'll just do that same variation. But it's always nice to give options, especially with yin. One stretch is definitely more intense than the other. Just depends on you and what your intensity is and where your body sits. Just dropping your head here, relaxing, breathing. If you are stretched in the same stretch that I use, you can still lower down if you would like. And look towards the back of the room or your mat. Just relaxing your breath. On your next inhale, push firmly into your elbows, and then slowly as you exhale, come up onto your hands. Release your leg that's on the pillows and kind of recenter yourself wherever you were at. We're going to do a neck stretch next. So sit firmly into your heels, and I caution you if you do have a sensitive neck to maybe miss out on this. I don't want you to cause any injuries. So if you have a sensitive neck and this could be too straining, simply do like little small movements in your neck that are within your capabilities. But if you do not have any neck issues, you can lift up onto your knees, so lifting your off your heels, and we're going to focus on putting the top of our head onto the mat. So bend forward and place the top of your head onto the mat. We're going to be here for 2 minutes, so let's just get centered here. If you have low blood pressure, this also isn't a good pose for you. Almost imagine you are trying to get ready for like a head stand. So frame your head with your hands, and it's almost like you're in a tripod. Your elbows hugging in towards each other, but they're quite up. And here's where I can welcome any movement. So if rocking backwards and forwards, tucking your chin in towards your chest even more, and then out if that feels good. Maybe bringing one ear to the mat and then the other in another stretch. Just allowing the stretch here and the freedom of choice and movement here. So whatever works for you, nodding your head yes and no or shaking it. And then when you're ready, push firmly into the mat again and tuck your chin in towards your chest and slowly rise back up, coming to sit onto your heels. Okay, let's do the thread the needle on the other side. So bring the pillows onto the left side of the mat, but towards the back. If you did that balancing pose, you can set up for it and make sure that your pillows are there. And then bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders and then your hips underneath or stacked over your knees into a tabletop position. So what you did on the other side, we're going to do on the left side. So as you inhale, lift your left hand up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then as you exhale, cross over, bringing the pillow down so that your head can meet it. Dropping your shoulder down onto the mat. And then you can stay here if this is where you did last time. Or you can lift that top hand that's pushing into the mat up and tuck it in between your hip creases. And you can stay here if you would like. If you'd like a more intense stretch or to focus on your balance, you can lift your leg up and place it onto the pillows behind you, and then it allow you to stretch your shoulder up towards the ceiling and open your chest. Just holding this pose here. I'm going to look the other way just in case there is any messages. Okay, no chat. Just checking if I heard a ding in the live chat. Breathing into it. Oh, being welcomed by a crazy fly over here. Thinking of balancing here and the things we have to balance in our life between work, friends, family, partners, kids. What's nice is if you do fall over, you just start all over again. Trying to work on my balancing too. And then slowly, when you're ready, you can lower your foot down if you were playing around with balance. Take your top arm that was in a bind and release it. Push it firmly into the mat. And then bring your leg down towards to meet the other one, pushing into your hand to come back to that tabletop position. Bring your pillows that were behind you to the side of you. And then we will get into that almost tripod position. So again, just to help with the setup, your wrists underneath your shoulders. Lift your leg up like you're a dog getting ready to do the fire hydrant, and then straighten your leg and place it onto the pillow. So you can do the first variation where you lift your arms up towards the ceiling and then bend over to the sides, place one hand onto your knee, thigh, or shin, wherever it falls, and looking up and over that armpit. Or if you would like, you can take your pillow, move it to the opposite side of the room, and come to a little bit of a side stretch. Either way, it's whatever works for you. If you can't manage to get to your elbows, just stack more pillows or stay onto your wrists, your fists if you have sensitive wrists, or your hands, whatever works for you. We will be here for about 3 minutes, so enjoy the level that you are at, and you might find that you can stay at a different one if that works as well. And then just drop your head and relax your face. Dropping your shoulders down and away from your ears. Focusing on your breath here. Might even flex your toes or the toes that are on the pillow. You might notice that we've done this a little differently on the other side than the first side. So we did the leaning back first and then the stretch. And now we're doing the side stretch, and then next we'll go into the leaning back. And I want you to take note and see what feels best for you, so that when you do my class or a class or any kind of stretch again, you can see what worked for you more in terms of a warm up. If it was the side stretch first and then getting into the pose, you'll find that each has a different benefit. This is going to help that when we get into the next pose, to increase flexibility and to focus more on the leg stretch than the side stretch. Whereas before we had already warmed up our leg, so we could focus more on the side stretch and get more from that. On your next inhale, you can push firmly into the pillows and come back onto your hands if you were on your elbows, and then walk the pillow towards the center of the mat, keeping your foot stacked onto those pillows. So, in the same variation you did on the other side, if you can go onto your elbows, I suggest you do, because it's just nice to stay in a pose for longer when you relax like that than sitting up. However, if you are like this, just push your chest forward, activate your shoulders, and look in front of you. You'll still get the same benefit. If you would like to make it more passive, which is what we are intending today, you can stack some more pillows until you reach your elbows. You can have your hands however comfortable they are and just push slightly back your hips while this leg on the pillow is still straight. And yeah, enjoy the stretch of the inner thighs. And checking in with your breath too. It's always a good check-in point to make sure that your foot that is on the pillow is flexed and active. But if you're trying to distract yourself in this pose, you're more than welcome to point your toes and then flex them back to bring some active movement into this pose as well. You might want to rock backwards and forwards if that feels good with your hips. Having long intentional inhales and try and have even longer intentional exhales. And then slowly, when you're ready, you can center your head and bring some more awareness into your neck. Push firmly into the pillows. Come back onto all fours and then bring that leg to meet the bent knee. And then just sit back into your heels. So we will sit here for about a minute if you would like. You can grab a pillow and place it underneath your hips and then sit back into it. Bring your palms onto your thighs. Close your eyes here and just check in with your breath and your body. So do a full body scan. Take one long inhale, breathing it into your head, your chest, your belly, and then as you exhale, send it down to your thighs, your knees, and then to your toes. Let's do one more of those breaths. Inhale. Bring your awareness to your head, your throat, your chest, your belly, and as you exhale, sinking down into that pillow underneath you, sending your energy through your thighs, your knees, and then your shins, and then your toes. Come to a normal breath here and just simply feel. We don't take enough moments in time throughout our day to just sit and not have an intention for sitting, just to feel. Checking in with your breath. Okay, slowly blink your eyes open. Lift off your heels. Take the pillow that was in front of you and just turn it towards the long side, and then you are more than welcome to stack it up with another pillow. Roll over onto your side so that your knees are facing the one side of the room and your pillow is squared to your hip, and then lower down onto the pillows. So this is a mermaid pose. You're more than welcome to actually straighten your legs out in front of you. If this feels good enough for you as a nice side stretch, then stay here. If you would like, you can stack some more pillows so that you have a wider or a bigger stretch range. And then just sit, pushing your chest slightly open, dropping your shoulders in, they're hugging in towards each other. It's always a nice thing about yoga is that it definitely increases your confidence in your posture. And you're pushing quite firmly into that bottom hip, and you can place your hand onto your hip, the top hip if you'd like, to allow you to lift up. And then look either behind you, to the side. At this point, wherever feels nice to you, and if you want a more passive, chill, just close your eyes and look in front of you, or even drop your head. If you would like, you can place your hands onto your your head onto your hand and just push up and open, maybe in fists, or if you have another pillow, you can place it in between your head and your hand to allow this gentle stretch on the side. Feels like we're laying on the beach. I can even encourage you to do a a breath that makes it sound like you're on the beach. So it's Ujjayi breath. As you inhale, feel the front of your body expand and inflate, and then as you exhale, imagine you have a glass mirror or window in front of you, and you want to like blow out, but instead of doing that, keep your mouth closed. So you make that sound with your throat. You'll sound like Darth Vader maybe. So inhale, and then as you exhale, you can't hear it. Is the sound it makes. That's Ujjayi breath, and then you're kind of adding your own sound effects to your beach theme. Hmm. Hmm. Almost done here. Just a nice side stretch. If you'd like to intensify it for the last like 30 seconds, you can place your hand next to or in front of the pillows and lift back up or lift and straighten your elbow. And then you can look over to the imaginary beach in front of you. And if you have the beach in front of you, I'm very jealous. And pushing firmly into that hand. You'll even feel it more onto your hip as well. So if you did not try this variation, it's still a good idea for the transition. So place your hand in the front of your pillow, straighten your elbow and push up, and then take your top hand, bending your knees into a seat like this. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. If your knees are up off the mat, just grab a pillow and place it underneath your knees. And then hug your toes or just bring them in, your feet close towards you, pushing and connecting each toe into each other. So you could even like actively do that. Take your big toes and push them in, and then work your way down so that they are solidly pushed in towards each other. You can choose to sit up or confident and push your chest out. If you'd like, you can use your elbows as you fold forward to push down onto your knees to increase that inner thigh stretch. Or if you would like, you can put a pillow in front of you and reach forward and drop your head down so that your neck is relaxed. Whatever variation works for you today. I can't bend too much on my belly, so I'm going to do the more confident chest open seat. And just feel your breath here again. Closing your eyes in our butterfly pose. Think of transformation and maybe think of a way that you've transformed your life in the past couple months to maybe even 2 years. Think of where you were 2 years ago or after a life or before a life transition and where you are now, and think of how beautiful it is that we constantly are changing and there's always beauty in growth, even though we get those growing pains and can be uncomfortable. Just think of one or two things that makes you very proud of yourself for going through and doing. Focusing on your breath wherever you are. With every inhale, feel your spine lengthen, and as you exhale, If you're forward folding, fold just a little deeper, allowing the space between the belly and your feet to diminish a little bit. Almost like a balloon inflating and then deflating. Just like life, yoga really is a journey. And this is just a time for observation. If we look at the time astrologically, it's also a time for observation and emotional decompressing. Lots of remembrances from the past coming up. Just a time to enjoy it. You can slowly blink your eyes open if they were closed. And grab the pillows from the one side and then place it on the other side. And then move over a little bit so that you have some space to bring the pillows to your hip so we can do that mermaid pose on the other side. So straighten your legs out and then lower down onto your pillow into your beach mermaid pose, pushing the bottom hip firmly into the mat. Your feet here can be pointed or flexed. Either way, put some intention into it. And then push your elbows firmly into the pillow. And then again, you can put your top hand onto your top hip to allow that confidence. Giving that nice side stretch. And if you would like to intensify it again, you can just place your hand over the pillows and push firmly um, into the ground or your mat. Or you can have that pillow under in between your head and your hand so you can just chill. I think it depends what kind of person you are at the beach. uh, Relaxing your head here, wherever it falls or you feel comfortable. Long intentional inhale and even longer exhales. You have 30 seconds left on that pose, so if you were the adventurous yogi that tried the extended version on the other side to even it out, now would be a great time to lift up onto that hand and straighten that elbow. Whatever works for you. And then slowly lift up into a seat. So we're going to get ready for Shavasana. If you haven't already got some meditation music on, we will be in this pose for about 9 minutes to 10 minutes. So place a pillow that will go underneath your head. and then also underneath your knees. And then if you would like, you can grab a blanket, an eye pillow if that's something you own or have, and then slowly lower back down onto your mat. Come to a lying position, and then do a full body check in here. So starting from your toes, as you inhale, breathe in your intention, and as you exhale, send your breath all the way to your toes. So allow your pinky toes to just fall to the side. And then inhale. And then as you exhale, send it to your ankles and the backs of your calves. Inhale. And then your shins. Just allowing every muscle to relax. They say a good Shavasana is as good as a full night rest. So on your next exhale, release all the tension behind your knees. And then behind your thighs, your hips, your belly, your shoulders, your fingertips, your elbows, your neck, your eyes, and your throat, and even your jaw, and your tongue. Relax your eyebrows and simply enjoy this moment as a moment for yourself, and allow for all the work you've done to just settle in for the next few minutes, simply enjoying. You can slowly start to bring your awareness into the room by wiggling your toes. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana and let this video end, you're more than welcome to. But if you are ready, start to bring some movement into your fingertips. Maybe brushing each fingertip over each other. Take one big inhale and stretch your hands over your head. Activate your feet here, stretching. You can almost feel your body lifting off the mat. And then just before you exhale, open your mouth side out, dropping everything down into the ground. On your next inhale, hug your knees in towards your chest, bringing your arms around them, or just bringing your knees closer in with your hands. Rock from side to side, massaging your spine one last time. And then you might find that you intuitively fall on either your right or left side and just lay here in almost a fetal position, checking in with yourself again, bringing a smile to your face for showing up. And then when you're ready, you can take your top hand and push firmly into the ground to allow you to come to a nice seat. Again, at your own pace. While seated into your mat, push your hips or your glutes firmly into the mat. Sorry. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Then as you exhale, bring your palms to touch and then lower it down to your chest or your heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today, and namaste. Have a good evening and sweet dreams to everyone.